Hey guys, this is Robert with RV Weekends, and we're going to exchange this fan with this fan. Let's do it. All right, we're in my bathroom in my RV, and they come with a stock fan that's pretty small, as you can see, relative to the hole. This is about a 14-inch hole, and then there's a small fan that's about 4 or 5 inches in diameter. And they make these really big fans that take up the whole opening. See how big that fan is? I've always wanted to put one in, but they're very expensive, so I never did it since I've owned the RV, but I've always wanted to. So since I started my RC1 mobile RV services company, I applied for discount pricing, so I'm an RV tech now, so I can get prices a little cheaper so I can sell them to the customer, make a little bit of money. So I got this super fan here. It's a MaxxAir fan that I'm going to install in the ceiling so I can move more air out quicker, which works better at venting the fumes out of the bathroom, and also humidity, which comes with taking showers. So the windows on the mirrors will fog up and stay damp for longer. So now I'm going to put in this MaxxAir fan, and let me show you the specs on it. This is the lower price one. It doesn't have the remote control, and the sun's coming in here. It's brand new day here in Florida, and the sun is coming up, and I wanted to beat the sun before it got too hot. So I'll show you the specs. Here it is, Max Fan Plus, manual opening, model 4000K. So the difference on this one we'll show you in a second, but this one retails around $199, and what it has is a powerful 10-speed fan motor that provides over 900 CFM to keep you cool and comfortable. Twin arms, because some of the openings have one arm. The fan runs with the lid closed to circulate air in the ceiling mode. So you can run it when that is closed just to circulate the air in the bathroom if you want to do that. Or I would keep mine open because I suck the fumes out, mostly the humidity out. So this mounts flush, easy to clean, keypad, controls fan speed, thermostat, air intake, and exhaust. 2-year limited warranty. And here you go. This is the barcode here for ordering. Here is the opening that is typical for RVs, and then here is the control panel for turning on the fan, turning off the fan. Input, output, so you can reverse the fan to suck air in, and then here is an auto feature, so you can set a thermostat. So the lid opens by this knob, so you turn the knob to open this lid. So that's what you have. By comparison, if we turn it around, here's the different models and features with those models, and this one is mine, this 4000K white, the other one 4000K smoke. So mine doesn't matter the color because I got it covered by another cover, so I can leave it open when it's raining and use it, and the rain won't come in. So it doesn't matter the color for me. So here it's got manual controls at the ceiling, manual thermostat, and intake and exhaust control. Then there's no X's here, so you have the option of getting upgraded model. Which one I was talking about, which was more expensive. I think it was, wow, it was well over $300, pushing $400. I think it was closer to $400. And with that model, remote control and a rain sensor. So when it rains, it automatically closes. So this is the remote for the more expensive one. You can see here it has a variable speed, 60% speed, air in, and the temperature. It has a thermometer here and a thermostat. So I didn't need all that. I just wanted to suck the air out of the bathroom when I want it to do it. I don't want it to be auto, so I didn't need all these bells and whistles for double the price. So here is the stock, original manufacturer's equipment. This is the knob that opens and closes the vent on top. There's another cover up there that keeps the rain out, but it's louvered so the air can flow out. It's a dirty fan. I knew I was going to replace this, so I didn't clean it. This pops out, this screen pops out. It's pretty easy. And then here's the on-off switch right here. And as you can see, it works fine. It's one speed. It's basically like a glorified computer cooler fan. It's really small. It works good, but it's not great. You can see the cobweb there that the air is moving. But I wanted something to really dramatically move the air. So that's why I bought this one. I've had one before in my first RV and they work great. Let's get this on the roof, get our tools on the roof, and show you the process of removing and installing. Bam! Now I'm up on the roof. Look at the blazing sun. Today is July 4th. Happy July 4th. Happy birthday to the United States of America. So anyway, we're up on the roof now. But I parked my RV at a storage area. So there's other stuff behind me. All right, there's the vent. It's got the vent cover on it, so you can't see the actual vent that I'm going to take off. And I like these. So far, I've had these for several years, and they've been great. I can leave the vent open. The rain doesn't come in. So it's good. This is my bathroom. This is my skylight over the shower. And there is my fan to keep me cool on the roof. And my tripod to hold the camera while I work. And here's my tool box to carry all my tools to do my work, as I'm an RV tech. And here's the self-leveling sealant, the fan. There's a caulking gun. I got a power caulking gun. We'll see how that works. I haven't used it yet. Got a heat gun here and a power cord. So first thing I got to do is remove these nuts to get this cover off. All right, now with the nuts off, the vent comes right off. Now you see the original vent. It's black because my RV has the black accents. All right, now we can take these brackets off because this whole curb's coming off. We'll reuse this on the new curb. We'll take these guys off. Keep my finger on the inside because the screw has to come out from the inside so I don't drop it. And this is a good organizer to keep your screws from falling and rolling off the roof. There it is. All right, the next step is removing the die-core, self-leveling die-core away from the flange to expose the screws that are holding this curb onto the roof. So the way I do it is I have to scrape this off, and this die-core is hard to scrape off in the cold or cool. It's easier to heat it up or get in the midday sun, and it scrapes off easier. Here it's a lot harder, so that's what the heat gun's for. I got my own heat gun to heat up the die-core, and then it should be easier to remove. So let's do that now. And before you scrape, make sure you use care, because you don't want to tear the roof membrane, because this is very soft and it can be torn very easily, because I've done it before. So I use plastic tools. These are upholstery tools, and they're not expensive, and you can get them. I got this at Harbor Freight, so this really relatively cheap and inexpensive. I think it was between $5 and $10 for a set of 5 different types of tools to remove buttons, push buttons on upholstery. So I buy this, and you still have to be careful. You don't want to tear this roof membrane. So here we go. Let's give it a shot. And I'm going to put my gloves on. And you don't have to get this flange 100% clean unless you're going to reuse it. But you definitely want to get it to where the flange ends and the roof meet. because that's what's going to be some of the holding power once you remove the screws. And here you can see the roof is being exposed. Look how pretty and clean and white it is. So you get a close-up of that. I don't know if you can see it because I can't see what you're seeing. But, all right, so I'll turn off the camera and get this all done to expose all the screws. All right, something I did notice that if I clean off the flange first and pull on it, it does pull off the roof membrane. That's what's happening here. So it's pulling off pretty clean when I clean it off the flange first. So that's a little thing I noticing when I'm doing it here. So you can see how it's clean here versus here. I'm scraping. You can see traces of the die cord. So I like that better. All right, I got all the die cord removed. You know, when you heat it up, it was peeling off really good, nice and clean. And you can see from the factory, they definitely got close to not covering the roof here with the flange. Look at that, it's like right about a 1/4 inch coverage right there from the flange to the roof. So not a lot of coverage versus here, you can see it's sticking out there 1/2 inch. So now time to remove these screws that are holding the fan to the roof. All right, now I got all the screws removed from the flange. There they are. And before we start to remove this vent, we need to disconnect the electrical power. So right in there are the electrical connections to the fan. So we want to disconnect that before we remove it. And as you can see, it's a good thing that screen's there, because look at all the bugs and stuff that come in. All kinds of trash that will get in your RV. Look at that dirty fan. All right, let's do it. So you want to be careful to separate the roof from the flange so you don't tear the roof up. You can see when you pry on it, it pulls the roof, so you want to be careful. Go slow. Try to go fast, you might rip it. All right, I went around the whole thing. Now I'm just, with my glove, I'm just putting my finger under here and doing gently as to not pull the roof up when the flange comes up, because it's very sticky. Now you want to make sure your breaker's tripped so you don't have electricity coming up here. This is only 12 volts, but you could still blow fuse or whatever. All right, it's removed. All right, now that that's removed, we got to be careful that we don't drop anything down in here that could damage the floor or toilet or sink or cabinet or anything in the RV, because it's open. There's nothing to catch you if you drop anything. So we want to clean the rest of this die core off of the roof so we can get a good seal when we put the new flange on. All right, you can see where the screws went, and here's the roof deck made out of plywood. You can see where the roofing folds down. Here it doesn't. Looks like they cut it away, but it folds down into the opening. You can see it there. Stapled to the side. It's framed out, so they stapled the roofing down to the side. And again, being very careful not to tear the roof.
This is a critical spot right here. We don't want to tear this where the roof touches the vent flange. We want it to be solid, not torn. Another thing I wanted to show you was just for your information, can't do anything about it now, but when you check your screws, when you remove something, you can see if it's been leaking. These screws don't have any rust on them. Here's another screw, very clean on top, no water got to it, so the seal was good. Good screws. So that's a good sign. There's probably no rotted wood because no water got in. This is the time, if you have rotted wood, you would have to cut the roof and patch it to replace the plywood. You have to cut the roof to access the plywood deck. So good, we don't have that problem. My rig is a Grand Design rig. So far this rig has been really good. It's almost 5 years old. 4 3/4 years old. Right now we're in July, so November is when I took delivery of this rig and started using it for Thanksgiving on 2019. So it's been a really good rig. Small problems, nothing major. Right. Gonna clean all this Dicor off. All right, I got most of the Dicor cleaned off. You can clean yours better than mine. I'm not telling you how to do it. This is just clean enough for me. Little bit here and there is not a big deal. Dicor is very flexible, pliable, so it'll mold around old Dicor that's still, this is good Dicor, it's still soft, so everything will stick really well. So now it's time to install the new one. Let's get the instruction booklet out and read how to do that. All right, as we open it, we have the instructions here. This is how it came. Let's get it out. All right, there it is. All right, I removed the plastic, and this is how it comes. This goes on the inside, so we'll put this back in the box and carry it off the roof. All right, and it says to remove this foam insert. These little knobbies, they twist 180 degrees. That foam insert to keep this screen from vibrating and scraping the fan. Look how big that fan is. Like I said, it covers the whole opening. So you can see that's going to move a lot of air. All right, 180 degrees. Flanges back intact. Now there's, in the package it says to remove this, and then there's another one inside, I believe. Yep. So it says you have to open it. Yeah, you have to unlock it. Push, pull to unlock. There you go. And inside here is another foam pad. Just to keep this from hitting while shipping. And then to remove the clear cover. I'm gonna wait on the clear cover until I get it installed. So step one is to make sure that it fits in the opening and that you have enough area cleaned on the roof to seal it. So let's give that a try. It says the hinge goes to the front of the RV. I'm gonna have to go downstairs and take that piece of plastic housing on the inside, this. I'm about to take that off the ceiling because it's blocking the vent from going down in the hole. So let's go do it. And if you want, you can put a drop cloth down in your bathroom to catch stuff that's gonna fall. I already gonna plan to sweep and mop my floor today, so I'm not putting anything down. It's a clean day for me. Yeah, there's a lot of trash on this. I'm gonna walk this outside and dump it. A lot of trash. on this flange from the original construction. All right, back outside. All right, as I place the fan in the opening, I'm gauging where my sealant needs to go. This flange is wider than the original, so I can see that I have some dirt here I need to clean to get a good seal. So I'm gonna get some soap and scrubby pad and clean this area and dry it thoroughly before we continue, so we get a good seal. This is really important. The seal is real important so it doesn't leak. So that's what I'm gonna do now. Okay, there's the opening. I cleaned it farther out. I brought up a dish scrubby with just a very little bit of soap, not much, a little bit of soap. So I scrubbed it really hard all the way around and I dried it. So now it's ready to be sealed. But before, the instructions say to wire up your fan. There's the wires in the ceiling. So we're gonna wire the fan up before we install it. Actually, it says to put the butyl tape along the flange before you wire it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put the Dicor butyl tape along the whole underside of the flange so it'll seal to the roof. And then I'm gonna get the connections ready. They provide butt connectors. Right here in the box of screws, there's 2 butt connectors. All right, so since I got the box up here, I just flipped upside down the vent. And that's kind of why I kept the plastic on until I'm totally done, so I don't get any junk on the top of the hatch. So I'm gonna apply the butyl tape now. Here I have the butyl tape installed all the way around. This one side was narrower than the other side here, so I put double width here, and then narrow on that side and double width here. So that's all ready to go. So the next thing to do is connect the wires. All right, first one I'm gonna use is the black. The positive right there, there's a plus sign. Black is usually positive, and white is usually a ground or negative. So not always the case, but in this DC case, that situation, that's what we're at. Black, positive, white, negative. So these connectors are super simple. They're butt connectors, but you do need a good crimper, electrical crimper here. And all simple as just push, I twist the wire on the end like that. Push the wire in, and then this is a blue connector, so I have a blue crimper. They're all color coded right here, you can see. And you have to use some pretty good force to crimp it. And then you give it a tug, make sure it's good, and you are good. Next up, we're gonna cut this connector and connect it here. But before I do that, I'm gonna put the white together first. All right. We have a good connection. It's tight. All right, now let's turn on the power, give it a test. All right. Ah, look, the fan is turning. Fan is off. All right, so we're hooked up good. Connections are good. Now we can put it into the roof opening. Okay. One of the most important things is making sure the hinge where the cap, the lid opens, is facing the front of the RV. So we're gonna carefully guide the wires down. We'll make sure and secure those later. The hinge is here, so we want to center this. And before we drop it down, we want to make sure we're centered as best as possible. Before you run the screws in, go inside, make sure it's centered in the opening, because you need space all the way around. All the way around, this needs a little bit of space and for that inside piece. So let's go check that. Now we're inside and checking the spacing, that we got space on all sides, not too far to any side. So it looks good. It's pretty spaced out, pretty good, enough for the inner sleeve to go in. And here's our wiring. that we'll deal with when we're doing the inside. All right, back on the roof and get this thing secure. All right, when putting in the screws, you want to make it firm, but not over tighten. You don't want to break the flange, crack it. So you want it to obviously grip. And squeeze the tape. And they have these little dimples here that mark where to help you put the screws. All right, now we're going to use the self-leveling die core. This is really good stuff, very expensive. Yeah, I've seen prices as high as $18, $17 a tube, $16 a tube, down to $12 a tube, depending on where you buy it. I think Amazon, you can, if you buy a bunch, you can get it down to $10 a tube. Not sure, but it's expensive, but it works really well. So you can be somewhat generous with this. So let's check it out. Actually, I need to trim away a little bit of that butyl before we do this, but this is coming up next with my new handy dandy power caulking gun. So here I'm gonna use a plastic scraper to remove the excess butyl tape, die core, whatever you want to call it. Right, let's see how this bad baby works. All right, we're out. That tube's out. Break out another tube. Man, that was nice. I like it. All right, now we took a look around, see if I got any gaps I'm missing. Look pretty good. So now that'll level on its own. As you can see, it's already leveling out. So you be somewhat generous with it, liberal. Some people, whatever they call it, don't want to go conservative on it because it'll leak. You don't want it to leak. You want to cover it up. The whole flange, wherever the screws are, wherever that flange touches the roof. Yeah, looks pretty good to me. And that's it for the roof. You can take off this now. All right, now we need to evacuate the roof of everything. Caulking gun worked great. I think it was $59 minus the battery. So I like it. When you get old like me, you get arthritic hands, this is very nice. And actually also, I have my battery operated fan. I like this fan because it's AC or DC, so it's got a converter in it. So it runs off the same batteries. Very nice, and makes a difference when you can drop your temperature down about 15 degrees because it's extremely hot here in Florida and it's sunny. I got up early in the morning to do this, so it's not midday super hot. All right, so let's go get everything off the roof and get inside in the air conditioning. All right, we're inside now, and the wires were hanging down in the opening, so I tucked them up into the attic here. Be careful not to clutter them here because we have a sleeve that needs to go in there, so I tuck them in the attic. This is going to be okay because this has to go up there, and this, depending on where your vent is in your RV, will dictate if this needs to be trimmed because this is spanning from your ceiling up to the roof deck. So if you're in the middle of the RV, you need all this. If your vent happens to be on the lower edge of your RV, say right here, because this is an exterior wall, and this is the lowest part of the RV roof because my roof goes up, it arches. So this would be, if you look at the spacing on this flange, you can see the space from the ceiling to the skylight is not very big. It's only about that big. And I'll show you. So if I tried to slide this up here, you see what I mean? Because of that, you'll hit the roof deck. Look at all that space you got. So you can trim this accordingly to the height of the roof deck versus your ceiling. So on the lower edge, it's going to be short. On the center, my skylight, this vent is literally down the center of my RV. So there's the exterior wall, and if I pan across, this is the exterior wall. So I'm right in the middle, so I need all this. So we'll see if it goes in without having to trim. So you can see the wires are tucked in. It's gonna go just like this. Just like that. There you go. So now I'm gonna screw that in place so it's nice and clean. The wires are behind this flange and the attic is closed. So let me screw it in. And they give you the screws, so these are recessed screws, so they're gonna fit flush. They're not gonna bulge out. The ones that were in the other flange were button head type screws where they would bulge out. So these are reset. And they are painted white, so they don't stick out very much as far as appearance goes. And again, you just snug it up. You don't put a lot of pressure on it, on the flange. I'm just making sure this is all tight before I try to run the screw in it and then break it. So just to hold it in place, it does not have to be tight. It's good. There you go. So we didn't have to trim anything because it's in the center at the highest point. Well, the roof is the highest. So that is all necessary. It's all done. So let's get a closer look. All right, you can see the fit and finish is good. Little dirt here. But up here it's all nice. And here is your controls. Let's open it up. Oh, look at that. I haven't put the other vent on the cover. Look at that, straight into the sunlight. So it opens up really far because this fan can move a lot of air. So here's the power button. And look at that. You can't see it very good in the camera. It's spinning pretty fast. We got arrows here for speed up. Wow. That's as fast as it'll go. And it's cooking. And then we want just to slow it down. When I guess it beeps twice, that means you're all the way down to slow. Or you beeps twice on the positive, it's all the way high. So you got power on and off. You can reverse the fan to suck air in. Here's your speed. And then I think it is the thermostat to make the fan run get the air at a certain temperature, but that's not gonna work in the summer, maybe in the winter, if you got hot air outside and cold air inside or something like that. I don't know. There you go. And you close it.
and it's got a lock. So when you're driving, you lock it so it won't vibrate open, because they will vibrate open.
All right, there you have it. Complete video of removal of old original OEM ceiling vent fan and installing a new MaxxAir 4000K model Max fan. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, as you have more videos coming. And hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload my next video. Do me a favor, share this video with a friend, as it might help someone else out. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.